The PN junction diodes, its model and application. The linear piecewise model of the diode will be discussed in this lecture. Along with that, a few applications like clippers and clampers also will be discussed. The applications of the linear piecewise model of the diode over these clippers and clampers also will be shown over here. So before going to discuss the linear piecewise model of the diode, first we need to understand what is a model and why we need such a model. So basically model is an approximation of its original device. And the next question is, why do we need such kind of models? Because we have the original device, why should we go for a model? The answer lies over here. Since our knowledge in circuit theory is only based on the linear elements such as the resistor, capacitor and inductor, we don't know yet how to apply the laws of the circuit theory directly to a nonlinear devices such as diode, transistors, etc. Therefore, when an AC signal present within a circuit along with a nonlinear device, so we don't know how to analyze that circuit in presence of the AC signal. We don't know how to extract the gain for an amplifier. We don't know how to extract all other necessary parameters. So therefore, the second way out is that you can replace that particular nonlinear device by a circuit or by a set of linear elements in such a way that the linear elements is constructing another circuit which can easily copy or which can respond in a similar manner the original device response in presence of the AC signal or the DC signal. Now, once you obtain such type of circuit made of the linear elements, you can replace that linear element of the circuit made of the linear elements in place of the nonlinear device. So, because that circuit is simulating the original response of the original device, so you can call the newly obtained circuit elements made of the linear devices as the model for the original device. We will see in this particular lecture how we can model a diode. This is our well-known VI characteristics of a PN junction diode in forward bias. Now we know that the diode does not draw a significant amount of current when the voltage across it is less than its cut-in voltage, which is V gamma. So we can consider the diode current is approximately 0 for a non-ideal diode. But in this case, we may consider that or we may assume that the diode voltage is equals to 0 by a straight line along the x-axis. Next is that when the diode voltage gets larger than its cutoff voltage, then the VI characteristics increases exponentially. This is for non-ideal diode. Now that thing we can assume by a straight line as I have shown over here. The straight line, if I consider that is parallel to the original response of the diode, then I can assume or I can tell that within a particular region of the operation, say for example, the diode is operating within a particular region over here. So within that range of the operation, that assumption that the straight line is following or which is the straight line parallel to the original response of the diode will also uh, provide the similar response as you can have from the original response of the diode because they are merging over here. Now by assuming this thing, what you are doing, you are getting the similar kind of response within this particular region of the operation. Along with that, you are maintaining the same dynamic resistance as well as for static resistance for the diode because they are parallel to each other. As a first case, we may consider this one where the diode voltage is less than its cut-in voltage. So in this particular case, as we know that within this region no current can flow within the circuit, so we may assume that such condition, or we may model that particular condition by replacing the diode using a DC voltage source. The polarities or the orientation of the DC voltage source as shown over here in such a way that it is opposing the current to flow from the source until and unless the is source voltage is larger than the DC voltage. Therefore, you can consider this voltage as a cut-in voltage, and if this DC voltage is equal to the cut-in voltage of the diode, so this can easily replace the cut-in voltage of the diode by using the linear element, which is nothing but a voltage source. Next one is the as the diode VI characteristics in forward bias, I have modeled using two state line. One is over the x-axis that represents the diode voltage, that represents the current when the diode voltage is less than its cut-in voltage, and another when the diode voltage is greater than its cut-in voltage. Then we have assumed the straight line is parallel to the original VI characteristics. So in that case, by assuming the straight line is parallel to its VI characteristics, original characteristics, we are actually preserving the slope. The preservation of the slope means it is maintaining both its static resistance as well as the dynamic resistance. So therefore, a forward bias diode can also be replaced by a resistance RD, that is a dynamic resistance. So in addition with this cut-in voltage representation made by the DC voltage source. Next is the reverse bias. As I have shown over here using this diagram, you can easily see that how I have modeled this diode using a current source and a resistance parallel with the current source. The question is why I am modeling a reverse bias diode in this fashion. Because in reverse bias, diode draws very small amount of current and it is very insignificant, but still it is drawing some amount of current. The current is due to the minority carriers, and that is why the small amount of current is maintaining a slope in the reverse bias, and that slope is almost parallel to the x-axis, although it is not practically, but it maintains almost parallel slope to the with respect to the x-axis, and it continues up to a certain point of the voltage, and that voltage is known as the breakdown voltage. We know all about these things. Now, since this diode is maintained a slope almost parallel to the x-axis, we may consider that the current is constant. Approximately it is constant, and we may model by a straight line parallel to the x-axis. So a constant current source can be replaced by a constant current source, and the direction of the current is same as the original direction of the current. That means due to the minority carriers, the current was directed for the original diode along this direction. So therefore, the current source I have replaced along this direction also. That means from N to P side. Along with that, as the slope of the VI characteristics in reverse bias of the PN junction diode maintains a zero slope or approximately zero slope, which means the inverse of that is very high, and inverse of a VI characteristic, inverse of the slope in VI characteristics represents the resistance in reverse bias characteristics. As I have explained the resistance in forward bias characteristics using the slopes in a similar manner, the slope in reverse bias obviously will represent some resistance, and that resistance is basically the resistance in reverse bias. And since the slope is parallel to the x-axis, that means the slope is 0 or approximately close to 0. So the inverse of that will be very high. So in reverse bias, a very high resistance appears across the current source. So that is why I have modeled in this way. And look at here. The three circuit I have presented over here. The first model or first circuit contains the original diode. Second contains the forward bias model of the diode, and the third one contains the reverse bias model of the diode. And this is the uh, response of the diode in presence of the sinusoidal voltage source. But such voltage source I have obtained using simulation. You cannot obtain such kind of output across the load by replacing the original model of the by replacing the original diode using its model. These such kind of models are basically to analyze a particular circuit when the particular circuit contains a nonlinear device. In this example, the device is diode itself. So, for the mathematical analysis, you can replace such nonlinear device using a equivalent model or equivalent circuit. But when you are going to obtain the response out of the physically out of the circuit, so such kind of model will not work over there. So for that case, the original diode must be replaced over there. Next one is the linear piecewise model of ideal diode. Let's see what will be the linear piecewise model of ideal diode. Practically, when you are constructing a circuit, all the elements exist within the circuit consume some amount of power. But when you are considering the ideal case, then other than the load, there will be no power consumption due to the other elements. Because the circuits what I will design in this lecture and I will design in future. So the purpose of designing the circuits are to deliver the maximum power, deliver the power to the load. As I just told, that deliver the maximum power, that means it is not possible to deliver the entire power to the load, because there exist some different elements within a particular circuit and the different elements should consume different amount of power. So the purpose of the efficient circuit design is that to deliver the maximum power to the load. However, as we are discussing the ideal case, which is the linear piecewise model of an ideal diode, so we should consider that the diode should not consume any power. The power only will be consumed by the load. As the diode is not consuming any power, so the power for the diode will be zero. So this is the power consumption by the diode, so that will be goes to zero. But ID, which is the circuit current as well, although I have defined by this ID, but it is also the circuit current, because in the present circuit all the elements are in series. So this diode current is also the circuit current. If diode current goes to zero, then the power also will not be delivered to the load also. So that is why diode current must not be zero, or equivalently we can say circuit current must not be will be equals to zero. So that will result Vd is equals to zero. And Vd is what? Vd is the voltage drop due to this DC voltage, the assumption of for the linear piecewise model. So this voltage in addition with the voltage drop due to the forward bias resistance. So Vd is equals to 0 means the voltage drop across this branch is entirely equals to 0. And that means, look, V gamma itself 0. So V gamma 0 means this is shorted, because the voltage source, when a voltage source it goes to 0, that represents a short circuit across it. And VRD, which is the voltage drop across this resistance due to this diode current ID, will be equals to 0. So this is equals to 0. Now this is equals to 0 means as ID not equals to 0, RD must goes to 0. And RD is equals to 0 means a resistance is 0 signifies a short circuit across it. So a voltage source is equals to 0 means a short circuit across the voltage source. A resistance is equals to 0 means a short circuit across the resistance. So equivalently we can say, when a diode is in forward bias, ideally we can replace a forward bias diode by a short circuit across it. And that confirms that the diode is not consuming any power, as V gamma is equals to 0 and RD is equals to 0. As I told, that an ideal diode or ideal forward bias diode can be replaced by a short circuit. Next one is a linear piecewise model of the diode in reverse bias. Ideal diode in reverse bias. So in case of reverse bias, ideally the load must not consume any power, because ideally the load current or the circuit current must be zero, and that is why ID is equals to zero. And if ID is equals to zero, the diode voltage must not be is equals to zero. And the diode voltage is not equals to zero, but ID equals to zero. So ID is defined by the current due to this constant current source and the current through this resistance. So current to the constant current source, I have assumed that is small id, and since the voltage drop across the diode is assumed as Vd, so the current through this R or this resistance is Vd by R, and both of them is equals to zero. So both of them equals to zero means individual component. So ID individually goes to zero, Vd by R should go to zero individually, like this. Now this is zero, we can understand, but what does it mean by this is zero? This is zero means this: the reverse bias resistance is equals to infinity. Now infinite resistance, so a current source, and a current source zero means we can replace an open circuit. We can replace an open circuit across the current source. Similarly, an infinite resistance means also we can replace an open circuit across the resistance. So basically, a reverse bias diode can be replaced by a open circuit when I'm considering the ideal case. And in this slide, I just have emphasized that particular point, that an ideal diode in reverse bias can be replaced by an open circuit. That's all. The first application of the PN junction diode is the clipper circuit. The clipper circuit. What is a clipper circuit? Clipper circuit means the circuit which clips off one of the half cycle from the input signal, either one of the half cycle or partially both of the half cycle. So we'll see how can we construct a clipper circuit using a simple diode. And here the circuit what I have discussed in my earlier slides and the earlier lecture, so that is basically a clipper circuit, because that was clipping off one of the half cycle all time. So that is also an example of the clipper circuit, and this represents the category of the clipper circuit. One is first category is a negative clipper, and the second one is a positive clipper. Negative clipper means which clips off the negative half cycle of the input signal, and positive clipper means that clips off the positive half cycle of the input signal. And both of them can fall under the category of unbiased and biased. Unbiased means when there exists no other DC voltage source along with the AC signal, and biased means the AC signal is being operated along with a DC source, so that we can clip off the particular portion of the half cycle not from exactly zero reference. So we can clips off that depends upon the DC voltage what we are applying. Let's see how we can do this. Look, so this is the circuit. This is the negative clipper. First of all, I'm considering a negative clipper means it is clipping off the negative half cycle. So this is the input signal, input sinusoidal signal. The black one represents the V naught, that is across the load resistance, and the negative half cycle is the absent across the load resistance. So that means it is clipping off the negative half cycle. The negative half cycle of the input signal is appearing across the diode only. But we generally consider the clippers and clampers with respect to the load, whether the load is following the negative half cycle or not. No, it is not following. So it is a negative clipper. This is the biased negative clipper. The previous example was unbiased negative clipper, because there was no DC voltage. Here, a DC voltage is used in addition with the signal. So, what is the effect of this DC voltage? You can see over here. Look at the polarization or polarities of this DC voltage. The polarity of the DC voltage is such a way that although there exists the signal is 0 goes to 0, still the diode remain in forward bias. So when the signal goes to its positive half cycle, so diode already is in forward bias. So this voltage will be added with the existing DC voltage. So the peak voltage of the sinusoidal signal is the 5 volt, and there exists a DC volt. So total 7 volt should appear for the for at this position Vi. So Vi has a peak voltage 7 voltage. So this is the input signal. Red one represents the input signal having the positive peak at plus 7 volt. But at the negative peak means when it attains its negative peak, that means the plus 5, it gets subtracted from this one, that is 2. So the negative peak will appear at minus 3. So positive peak of the Vi, which is a summation of both of these voltage, is at 7 volt, plus 7 volt, and the negative peak is at minus 3 volt. However, so therefore, since it is a negative clipper, it is going to clip off the negative half cycle. Now the negative half cycle is defined by the voltage across the Vi only. So the negative half cycle will start from over here. So up to this 0 volt, it will remain in forward bias, because when this signal is 0, till this voltage is keeping the diode in forward bias. So up to this voltage, it is maintaining the forward bias voltage. But when the Vs goes or becomes less than the plus 2 volt, that means it becomes minus 3 volt or less than that, then this voltage or the diode goes into the reverse bias region, and therefore it clips off that portion, only that particular, only 3 volt it is clipping off. It is clipping off only the 3 volt. And in this position, the output voltage cannot follow the exact peak of the input voltage. Here input voltage is obviously the Vi. It cannot follow because some voltage is being dropped across the diode. And here look, the negative clipper following the input. This is also an example of the negative clipper, but look at the orientation of the diode, how I have used. I have used diode over here. So therefore, for the positive half cycle of the input signal, the diode remains in reverse bias. So therefore, if you consider the ideal model of the diode, you can replace the open circuit over here, because the diode is in reverse bias for a positive half cycle of the input signal. So there is no connection. So V naught is directly connected with this voltage source. So current will appear through at this node, and if you apply a load resistance over here, you will get the immediate response across the load resistance. So the output is following exactly the input, exactly following the input. In the previous case, the output was not following the input because the diode was in this branch and it was consuming some amount of voltage across it. But in this particular orientation, the output is following the input for the positive half cycle. However, for the negative half cycle, that diode goes to the forward bias region. Okay, so and if you replace this diode by its ideal model, so that means it is a short circuit. If you replace the diode by using a short circuit, so the current will find this shortest or the smallest resistance path through this one, or the zero resistance path through this. So although you connect a load over here, so the current will find this path, and voltage drop across this short circuit will be 0. So here will be 0. But practically you are not getting the 0 because this diode is consuming some amount of voltage over here. So it is consuming some amount of voltage. So therefore, this particular negative clipper circuit is much more efficient than the previous one, because here, at least in the case of forward a positive half cycle of the input signal, we are having, or we are, the output voltage is following the input entirely. Similarly, in the biased negative clipper case also, if you apply the bias or the DC voltage in such a manner what I have used in the last circuit also. So here also you can see the positive peak is attained by the output voltage. However, the negative peak, there exists some consumption of the diode voltage, so that is why it is not, output voltage is not coming at 0 exactly. But at least for the positive half cycle of the input signal, the output is attaining its positive peak. So in this manner also, it is a better circuit in comparison with the previous one. Next one is the positive clipper circuit. Positive clipper circuit are nothing but just change in orientation of the diode. So if you change the orientation of the diode, you will have the positive clipper. Look over here. So I just changed the direction of the diode in this branch and you got the positive clipper. Positive clipper means the output, you will have the positive half cycle is off. You can see from this output. The positive half cycle is off in the voltage expression of the output. This red one represents the input signal and the black one represents the output signal. Although the output is following entirely for the negative half cycle, it is not, it is 0 for the positive half cycle. Although it is not 0 because diode is consuming some amount of voltage across it. So this is the example of biased positive clipper circuit. A similar kind of circuit what I have used for the biased negative clipper circuit, here also I have incorporated a DC voltage source. But in this particular case, the orientation of the DC voltage source is such that it is opposing this AC signal when it is in its positive half cycle. So therefore, for the positive half cycle of the input AC signal, when it is attaining its positive peak, that is 5 volt, Vi, which is nothing but the summation of both of these voltage sources, is attaining only plus 3 volt, because 5 volt minus 2 volt is giving us the 3 volt. And when this signal, this AC signal is attaining its negative peak, so it is matching with the polarity of this DC voltage source and you are having minus 7 volt for the negative half cycle. So therefore, since this diode is, or the orientation of this diode is operating as a biased positive clipper, so the positive half cycle is going to be clipped off. So this positive half cycle is clipped off and this portion of the voltage is dropped due to the non-ideal characteristics of the diode. And for the negative half cycle, the output is following the input entirely. And this is one interesting example of the biased clipper circuit where the circuit is clipping off a few portion from both the half cycle of the input signal. So due to the combination of the negative clipper, negative bias clipper, so this branch represents the negative bias clipper and it is clipping off from the negative half cycle, and this branch is the example of the positive clipper circuit what I have just discussed, and this branch is clipping off from the positive half cycle. So the resulting signal across the output is like this. It's nice and very interesting circuit. Another interesting application of diode is the clamp pass circuit. What is a clamper circuit? Clamper, from this name clamper, means it just clamps the voltages. So basically a clamper circuit clamps the voltages from one half cycle upon the voltages on the other half cycle. And basically the clamper operation means, at the end of this lecture you will see, the clamper operation means nothing but it shifts the entire signal of the input voltage. Let's see. So in order to start the analysis of the clamper circuit, you just have to follow one trick. It's very easy. Always start your analysis from that half cycle of the input signal for which your diode will be in forward bias. Although if you start from the negative half cycle, that also works. That is fine, but it is easier to consider the positive half cycle first, because this diode is in forward bias for the positive half cycle. But if you find any different circuit having the orientation of the diode in a different way other than this one what I have shown, so you first have to find that your diode in that particular circuit will be in forward bias for what half cycle, whether it is the negative half cycle or positive half cycle. So for that half cycle your diode will be in forward bias. You should have to start your analysis from that half cycle, and that will be easier. When I will discuss the analysis part, you will consider, you will understand why I am telling this thing. So at first, replace the diode by its linear equivalent model. Here I just made a combination of them, that is I have considered the ideal case and non-ideal case simultaneously, because in the non-ideal case there exists both the cut-in voltage and the forward resistance uh, together. But here I have considered only this cut-in voltage within the circuit, but I have considered this, there exists no forward resistance. The forward resistance is 0. So I have assumed the ideal condition for the forward resistance but non-ideal condition for the cut-in voltage, because uh, I need to show you that what is the effect of this cut-in voltage. You can consider this V gamma is equals to 0, and you can replace the entire diode using the short circuit, which replace the ideal diode or the non-ideal diode by the ideal assumption. But the presence of the V gamma will help you to understand what if you replace a DC voltage over here while you are considering the non-ideal diode by its ideal equivalent one. So that thing you can understand by using this V gamma. That is why I kept it is unchanged. Now let's see. If we apply KVL over here, the KVL will result like this. So first I am considering the positive half cycle, and I am considering the peak voltage of the input signal is Vp. So the current is flowing along this direction. So Vp minus Vc minus V gamma, because it is current is following this direction and we are moving positive to negative for this V gamma voltage. So the capacitor voltage, which is unknown, will now be known from this equation, and the voltage that the capacitor will hold it for the positive half cycle is the input voltage minus this voltage. So this is the voltage, amount of voltage will be stored within the capacitor. But what will be the output voltage? Output voltage you can easily find by applying the KVL over here, and output voltage is nothing but the V gamma, or this cutting voltage of the diode itself. So for the silicon diode it is 0.7 volt, or the germanium diode it is 0.3 volt. So depending upon that, this output voltage is going to be 0.7 or 3 volt. But if you replace this non-ideal diode by its ideal equivalent one, so the output voltage will obviously be 0 for the positive half cycle, and for that case the Vc, this capacitor, is going to store the entire input voltage, because the V gamma will be 0 for the ideal case. Now consider the negative half cycle, and for the negative half cycle I am replacing this diode by its ideal one, that is the, I am considering it is open circuit. It is completely open circuit. This is for the sake of simplicity. And again apply the KVL. Now when you are applying KVL, I am considering this is the voltage, the polarity of the input voltage is like this, and the capacitor, we are assuming one, or we are considering one important assumptions, that the within the transition between the positive half cycle to the negative half cycle, the capacitor is capable to hold its charge within it, or the capacitor is capable to hold the entire voltage. It is not decreasing the voltage across the capacitor. And it is true, because I did not connect any resistance. There is an open circuit across the output terminal. Although you may connect a load impedance over here, but you have to make sure that load impedance should be high enough so that the time constant, which represents the product between this capacitor and the load resistance, must be so high that within the transition from the positive half cycle to the negative half cycle, the capacitor should not be discharged in a significant amount, and that can be done by placing a high load impedance. In this case I have considered the load impedance is infinity, so that condition is being maintained automatically. So next apply the KVL over here, and the KVL tells that, so since the polarity of the input voltage right now gets changed, so you are moving from plus to minus, and this is plus to minus because the capacitor is holding its charge, it is maintaining its original polarity, and this polarity I have considered for the output voltage is plus to minus. So this is will be the KVL, And from this KVL, V naught is going to be this negative of Vp minus Vc. But Vc is right now it is known because it is holding some voltage from the positive half cycle. Therefore, if you replace the Vc is equals to, I mean, Vp minus V gamma, what was the stored voltage from the positive half cycle, the output voltage will be minus twice Vp plus V gamma. So this, in absence of this V gamma, that means if you replace the diode by the ideal one for the positive half cycle, then the V naught will be minus twice Vp. And look, this is the output response. So here I have assumed the square pulse because to make you understand in a better way. However, any kind of signal you can use over here, any kind of AC signal you can use over here. So the red one represents the input signal which is oscillating between plus 5 to minus 5 around the zero voltage. When it is the plus 5, as I told, the output is the voltage across the diode only, and this is it is either 0.3 or 0.7 depending upon the diode or the material what you are using for the diode. And for the negative half cycle, it is twice Vp, and the Vp has 5 volts, so it will be approximately twice Vp. But since the diode is consuming some amount of voltage, it will be twice Vp minus twice Vp plus V gamma. So it will be just a slight less than the minus 10 volt, and that is why we are obtaining in this way. Now I have applied a sinusoidal input instead of the square wave pulse. The sinusoidal input also, you can see it is oscillating from plus 5 to minus 5, and the output voltage is oscillating from 0 to 10 volt. This one is just transient state. This one just a transient state, and this one after the output is settled, so this will be the output, continuous output. The types of clampers. Similar to the clipper, the clampers are also categorized into two. It is a negative clipper and the positive clipper, and both of them are can be biased or unbiased. So this circuit represents the positive clamper circuit. Now in the previous circuit we have seen the clamping operation was done over the negative half cycle. So that is why the previous circuit was called the negative clamper. In this case it is called the positive clamper because it is clamping on the positive half cycle, and this represents this short pulse represents the transient state. This one. Now all my previous analysis regarding the clamper circuit, including this particular one, what is the actual scenario you can find out, or what is actually happening? This circuit is basically shifting the input signal. The output is either shifting in a positive direction, or the output is shifting in a negative direction. The negative clampers shifts the output in the negative direction, while a positive clamper shifts the output in the positive direction. So shifting the input in positive and negative means basically it is introducing some DC part. So say for example, this is the input signal. It is oscillating between plus 5 to minus 5, and it was symmetric with respect to the zero reference voltage. So it has no DC part. But once you are obtaining this output from this either of this clamper circuit and clipper circuit, so you are obtaining a shifted version of the input signal. So either it is shifted in the positive direction due to the positive clamping operation, or it is shifting towards the negative side due to the negative clamping operation. In both the cases, basically, it is not right now symmetric with respect to zero reference level. So therefore, it is introducing some DC voltage. So a clamper circuit is nothing but to introduce a DC voltage by shifting the input in either of the direction, either in positive direction or the negative direction. The biased clamper. Similar to the clipper circuit, biased clamper means you can connect a DC voltage. I have connected the DC voltage over here. So there can be a infinite number of combination of the biased clamper and biased clipper, because that depends upon the number of diodes you are using, number of voltage sources you are using, and that can be done in different branches. You can derive another branch where you can use another diode and voltage source in a different orientation. You can combine even 3, 4, 5 branches, which includes the diodes. You can do anything. So infinite number of combinations can possible. So in this particular analysis, if you apply the KVL, because here I am considering the negative half cycle, because my diode in this case will be in forward bias for the negative half cycle when the current will flow along this direction. So I am considering the negative half cycle first. So this is the uh, capacitor voltage which is going to be stored within the capacitor, and since the minus 2 volt exists in this branch, so that minus 2 volt minus V gamma will hold by the capacitor. During the positive half cycle, and here I am assuming the ideal characteristics of the diode. So that means I am considering it is a short circuit. So for the output for the positive half cycle, for the negative half cycle, as I am considering the negative half cycle first, the output for the negative half cycle is minus 2 volt. For the positive half cycle, the same event will be repeated as I have told for the unbiased case. That means the voltage from the VC, the capacitor, will be added with the applied signal. And finally, this will be the voltage, or this will be the voltage across the output. And this is this one. So it is plus 5, minus 5, and now it is oscillating between 7 volt and minus 3 volt. 7 volt and minus 3 volt. So basically, it is shifted somewhat in a positive direction, but not like the previous one. It is right now between plus 7 volt to minus 3 volt. And this state is a transient state. Biased negative clamper. Now in this biased negative clamper, the analysis will be done in a similar fashion. That means this diode is now will be in forward bias for the positive half cycle of the input signal. So I have started my analysis for the positive half cycle. Why I am considering the half cycle for which the diode will be in forward bias? Because for that half cycle, diode will be forward bias, and for that half cycle, your capacitor is going to hold a particular charge. So first, I have to calculate I have to find out the amount of charge the capacitor is going to hold, and then for the next half cycle, that charge will be added with the input, and that is the clamping operation. So basically, clamping means that voltage across the capacitor is being or is going to add it with the input. So that is the clamping operation. And since the capacitor voltage is required to find first, so that is why I am telling the try with that half cycle of the input signal for which the diode will be in forward bias. So the next is this. So during the negative half cycle, you can figure it out. So this diode will be open circuit and the current will flow over through this if you connect a load resistance over here. But since I have not connected any load resistance, so that will be open circuit and the capacitor cannot discharge through it. So during the negative half cycle, this will be the output voltage. And look at here. So this is the input voltage which is oscillating between plus 5 to minus 5 with respect to the zero reference voltage, and the output voltage is oscillating between slightly greater than the minus 2 up to slightly less than the plus 12. So that's greater than and less than can be figured out from this equation, where the output voltage for the positive half cycle is minus 2 plus V gamma, because because this is the minus 2 and V gamma has the orientation just opposite to this voltage what I have considered over here. So that is a minus 2 plus V gamma will appear across the output during the positive half cycle, and the capacitor is holding this amount of charge. So if you consider for the positive peak, the peak is at 5 volt. For 5 volt, it is going to be 5 volt plus 2 volt, 7 volt minus V gamma. So the capacitor is holding 7 minus V gamma if you consider it is 0.7 volt for the silicon diode, so 7 volt minus 0.7 volt, it's 6.3 volt. It is holding for the positive half cycle. During the negative half cycle, that capacitor voltage across the capacitor is coming over here, and the output voltage will be twice of the maximum input voltage. For the peak voltage, the peak voltage is at minus 5 volt, so it will be minus 10 volt, and minus 2 volt will be added with it, so minus 12 volt plus this V gamma slightly less than that, so the V gamma is 0.7 volt so for silicon diode, and that will be 12 minus 12 volt plus 0.77 volt, which represents the minus 11.3 volt. So that is why it is slightly less than minus 12 volt representing, and this level is minus 11.3 volt. Unlike the previous ones, this is representing the transient state. Let's summarize the lecture. A non-ideal diode can be modeled using a DC voltage source and a resistance connected in series. The polarities of the voltage source will be such that it generally should oppose the current to flow from the source or from the sinusoidal signal source until and unless the voltage of the signal or the source will be greater than the DC voltage source. So that is why the DC voltage source should have the voltage which is equal to the cut-in voltage of the diode. In the reverse bias, a non-ideal diode can be modeled as a constant current source, although the current will be very small, but still the current due to the minority carrier is of the order of microampere. So that is why I am modeling is a constant current source of very small in amplitude, and with a very high resistance across the current source, because the resistance is defined by the slope of the VI characteristics, and since in the reverse bias the slope is almost parallel to the x-axis, so the slope is approximately is equals to 0. Inverse of slope is the impedance or the resistance of the VI characteristics in reverse bias. So the resistance is going to be very high, because 1 by approximately is equals to 0, which is the slope, is producing a very high value. An ideal diode in forward bias can be replaced by a short circuit, because an ideal diode must not consume any power, only the load should consume the power. So that is therefore, but since the circuit current is not equal to 0, therefore the diode voltage must be equal to 0, and the diode voltage across the diode means it includes both the voltage source as well as the voltage across the resistance due to the circuit current. So if both of them is equal to 0, so the 0 voltage source and 0 resistance can be replaced as a short circuit. In the reverse bias, oppositely, an ideal diode can be replaced as an open circuit. Now, a clamper operation is that the clamper operation clamps uh, one of the input signal upon the other input signal or other half cycle of the input signal. So that is the clamping operation. Or clamping operation basically shifts the input voltage or input signal uh, to particular one direction, either it is in positive direction or towards in the negative direction. And by shifting the input signal to the positive and negative, basically the clamper circuit introduces a DC voltage into the output signal. A clipper is used to clips off the half cycle either from the positive half cycle or from the negative half cycle, or partially from the both half cycle of the input signal.